Exclamation, everybody, and welcome back to Astroneer. Excuse me, my voice is all over the place here. Off camera, I did a little bit of preparation work for our quest off-world. I also ran into a performance hiccup that I want to make you guys aware of, just in case. If you're playing the 0.211 version, which is the latest one on Steam that's not a beta, well, that's not in the beta branch or whatever they call it. I had parked, you can see my rover here. I had parked my rover over a little bit closer to the base, and when I loaded up, all these segments here were tethered to this tether network that I've got, and I kept getting like stutters. Like every 5 seconds I'd get a complete, a drop in frame rate down to 0, and then it would pick up again, and then drop again, and then pick up again. And it wasn't until I moved this far enough away that I didn't have it connected to any of the tethers that all that went away. So just a word of caution there. Just remember where you parked and try not to park too close to existing tethers and stuff. Off camera, I wanted to know what the furnace thing was, the generator that they had, and it takes coal, the generator. So I don't have that resource yet. I don't even know what it, if I can find that on this plan or if I have to go somewhere else. And as I was preparing to do a launch here, I realized that I didn't want storage so much on here as I want to be able to build a base somewhere. So I built a lander, and in case you were wondering, the landers do have 2 spots for storage on the back, even when you're on your base. So I put 2 pieces of aluminum on there so that we can get a once we establish a base, we might be able to get like a wind vane and stuff, assuming we have wind where we're going. And I've got some of the basic essentials on my back here. I got some tethers, some resin, and some compound. And I got a little solar panel for myself so I can continue to have power even when it's not there. So I think we're good to go for the most part here. I assume I'll be able to get back to here if I need more stuff, but I wanted to try to do it in a one-shot here. I wanted to prepare and see if I could get established somewhere. And so that's what our task is for today. I just wanted to look around and make sure I'm not missing something else here. Oh, I also built some storage, and what I did was I was originally building the storage things, and I was just throwing them in this pit over here so that they don't move anywhere. And then when storms come, and then I realized that storms aren't going to blow them away if they're part of the base. So I made little nodes here that allow me to not only expand the base, but also allow me to just put the storage on top of them, so that we can store all of our stuff on the base and not have it get knocked over by the wind. Another thing I discovered that was actually a quite pleasant surprise is that if you take a storage thing and you put it on an existing platform like this smelter here, it actually folds itself out a long ways here so you can get more spots in the smelter for things that are coming off the smelter. So that's pretty cool. So then as you fill this up here, it'll just keep popping things onto the sides and allow you to just keep doing what you're doing. So cool beans on all that. Cool beans. And I think that's the grand tour. So without further ado, let us hop in our lander and see what we can see. I think it's about time. One problem here is the lander did spawn in like crooked. He's got one leg up on the thing here, but I think we'll be okay. So launch, I assume. And alright, very good. Very good. There's the moon that we keep seeing out in the sky. And there's our lander. There's our landing spots. Okay, so I guess these are all landing spots I could pick on the same planet if I wanted to, since we're in orbit now. So that's interesting. I wonder how much of this is actually generated versus, like, how much of this did I actually explore, I wonder, and how much of it is just the basic terrain generation that you're seeing. I don't know. But I could do that, or I can launch further out, which I think I'm going to do. Let's see if we can go to another planet, shall we? So we've got, there's a Terran planet. There's a Terran planet that is in So this is where we were. This is where our base is. Then there's a Terran planet that's like... Oh, wait, oh, that's just the label. Okay, I thought that was another planet that was like in polar orbit to us, but it's not. We've got a barren moon, which is good. I guess this white line determines how far we can actually go. I assume that's something that you can like upgrade later on or something like that. And it looks like planets are moving into spots where we can actually grab them. So what is this? Exotic, and I see a couple other ones there. I don't know what you get on each planet type. Like, what does barren give you versus other things? Exotic, I'm kind of curious about, but at the same time, I kind of want to look around a little bit because I would imagine I get some pretty good resources on, like, I don't know if you get any resources on barren planet or not, but you'd seem like it would get like be coal or something there. Radiated planets. That might be what the filters are for. Like, you can build filters and stuff. I bet that's to filter you from radiation. Don't know if I want to go on a radiated planet yet. That might be a little bit too hard for me. I mean, given how many times I've already died. What is that red one, though? Is that ever going to get into range for me, or is that just going to stay just out of my range? I think it's going to stay just out of my range. Well, I mean, we could go on to the exotic planets, I suppose, and build a base there, and then that would get me one jump closer to all these other ones that I want to see. I kind of also want to go see what the barren moon is like, though I'm not sure. You know, I do want to go somewhere where I can build a base. So maybe, I mean, I would like to build a moon base, but I don't know if there's any resources on here that would be worth my time. Let's go to the, what's this one that's coming in? Is that the radiated one that's coming back in? That might be. I think let's go to the exotic for now, I guess, and then see what's up with that. Yeah, I think that's the radiated one. Yeah, because it's so close to the sun. Wait, is this one coming into range now, or is it just going to stay on the outside? I think it's just going to stay on the outside. I feel like if I don't go to the moon here, then I'm kind of jumping ahead of the game. But that said, I want compelling content too. So maybe we'll just go to the exotic planet and see what there is here. Oop, we passed right through our home planet. We are ghosts. Alright, here's the exotic planet, and where do we want to land is the question. Do we want to land? It looks very mountainous. Like, everything looks very mountainous about it. I hope that these are flat areas that I can actually rove around in. Do I go near the pole? Because that seems like it would be an interesting thing there, or do I stay more towards the center? It looks like there's really interesting peaks and stuff there that could be explored, but maybe we'll go halfway. Let's just try. This is on the dark side of the planet, but we're gonna land in the sun. I should probably land in the sun, just because it'll be easier for you guys to see on the YouTubes. So let's wait for this orbit to come around again, and then we'll land on the sunny side of the planet, I hope. Or am I completely wrong in that assessment? Yeah, here we go. Let's land right there. See what that has in store for me. Looks like we still have plenty of gas though, so that's always a good sign. Okay, well, we landed on a rock. That's gonna make things interesting, I guess. Alright, I suppose we should disembark then. And now what is the question? We're gonna have a lot of things. I bet we're gonna have a lot of plants that spit at us, probably. Yeah, there's some spitters over there, aren't there? Oh, that's gonna make for even more interesting things. Looks like there's some research and stuff over there that we can grab. Okay, so that said, let us establish our colony here. Let's grab this thing, and let's see if I can put this down here. And I need somewhere that's relatively flat, though. I don't think I'm going to find a place that's relatively flat around here. Yeah, that's going to make for some interesting times. I guess we could come this way. Looks a little bit flatter. Just ever so slightly flatter than the other area. Maybe. Although there's an oxygen thing up there. Maybe I should build near that. That would be a good idea. Yeah, let's build up on this mountain. This seems like a relatively flat area, although we do have some things that want to kill us there. But I can probably kill those before they kill me. We're at 50% oxygen, so we're going to have to do something. So let's try it right here and see what happens. I'll put that down and then establish the base. Okay. Yeah, this is really a weird thing to establish it on, but I think we're doing okay for right now, and our oxygen's built back up. I think what first things first is we're gonna have to kill some of these things, if at all possible. Once we have some power. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be. I need to kill these things. I need to kill those things because they're not gonna be fun to deal with. Let's pull that out of there. And try to fend for ourselves as we can. We got a lot of research anyway. If I can set up a research colony here, we'll be rolling into research. Also, I forgot to mention, I researched a couple things off camera. I have like power cells now, and there's something else I researched. I forget right now what it is, but it was pretty darn good, the research that was. All right, so we can move around here and then come up here and take that out of there. That's good, and hopefully kill these things in the process. Doing that. The sun's coming back up again. It looks like this planet is rotating relatively quickly. So that should help us, I would think. Are these still alive, or are they finally dead because I knocked them all over the place? I'm just gonna bury them down far below here, so they could not harm anyone again. Okay, so I think they're relatively disarmed. So that said, let's get a research thing going at least, so we can get our research facility moving along here. Which way? Why is that still moving that way for? Like, this is rotating for some reason. I don't know why that's rotating around that way, but let's get it before it continues rotating. There we go. And 2 resin. Alright, so now we got to get some research. We need compound for it, which we have. Build that puppy. And then we need power. We need some power, which I don't have. I have solar power on my back, but I don't have the I don't have other power I can throw in there. It looked like the sun was coming up, and then it promptly disappeared. There's a power node all the way over there. Let's see if I can get rid of. Let's see if I can kill some of these things before they become a problem. Okay, so I'm back after searching around for things. I did not find any resin, and I don't know if there is any resin actually on this planet or not. If it's just this region of the planet that I'm on just doesn't carry it, or it's not here at all. I don't know. but I did get over to the copper ore there a little bit, and I got some of that. Managed to grab some of that. Did die along the way. I've died twice now. Note to self, don't try to build the ground up around your dead body, because it just sucked the dead body up and that was it. I couldn't get any more, I couldn't get any of my stuff off of it, so that's unfortunate. But what I did do is, since I couldn't find any resin, I went back to our normal Terran planets, picked up some there and brought it up with me. I've created a few batteries that seem to be helping, at least with some extra storage here until we get some generators and things going. I took a bunch of coal that I had gathered from research and stuff, and I took that back to our main base. And you can see I got a couple things of copper built now, and I've got the vehicle thing ready to go as we need it. I remembered the research that I found besides truck was also a drill bit, I think. So that'll be good thing to fit and try to figure out how that works. And then I need more resin over here to get the next build out going. But I think what I really want to do, this is going to be my research area, because there is tons and tons of research to be picked up and used. So I'm going to, I need to get my power situation situated here, and also try to figure out how to get resources, like a more efficient way of getting resources back and forth here if possible. Also, there's another storm brewing, which is like, this has been nothing but, I've been getting nothing but storms up here. Yeah, here comes another one. Last like 20 minutes here I've gotten like at least 4 storms. So let's sit in here and wait it out. The things up in the air that I was mentioning a little bit earlier, those little, you can see them over there mostly once the storm's not in the way. Yeah, these little white things, those are actually the labels for our other settlement on the other planet, on the Terran planet. And they seem to be glitching out a little bit. They're not actually attached to the planets until you actually go into orbit of the planet. Then everything fixes itself. So it's kind of weird seeing that, but that's what's going on there. That's what those weird things are. And in order to get back to my home planet, I had to jump through. I had to go to the radiation. I had to orbit the radiation planet and then wait for that to get into range of the Terran planet so I could jump over there. So I had to kind of do like a little hopscotch thing as we were going back there. So, and then coming back this way, I had to wait for the planet to get back into range again to come back this way. So that's a little bit finicky right now. Hopefully we'll eventually find a way to be able to more efficiently transport stuff between these planets, especially if I can't find the basic building blocks that I need, like resin and stuff. I imagine there's probably some resin and compound on this planet, but so far the only sources I found of them is in the research stuff. Also, when I came back on the return trip, I built a storage thing and put that on my shuttle and brought that back up from the other planet. That's why we have storage now, because we were really low on it and I wanted to make sure I don't lose things, especially since we're getting so many storms where things are getting knocked around, research and all that stuff's getting knocked around. You can see my solar panels on there. It's doing a nice little charge job, and then it's not charging this one though, which is a bit interesting. I guess I could just grab this and put it over here. I'll charge up the smelter that way. It's interesting that the power was going into other things, like into that one over there, but it wasn't coming into this one. I don't know why. But anyway, I think what I want to do is I want to get back in the lander, because since I can't find anything here yet, I don't have all the requisite stuff that I need. I figure I'll go into the lander, go back to the other planet, and then we can look at some other things, like the research facility here is coming along quite nicely, and I also might as well take some research back with me on the return trip. And I did refuel while I was back at my main base, so we can have that. Actually, I kind of want to take this one, even though I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which ones you take. I want to take that one because it looks cooler. And then, yeah. So what I'm going to do next time, this episode's been just building out this research facility, which we've done for the most part. I just need to make it somewhat self-sufficient if I can. And then next time we're going to take a look at, since I've unlocked both the drill head and the truck, I want to dig into that stuff on our other planet. We might actually move to another section of the other planets just to get away from the stuff that we know and love, and then see where that leads me to. But in the meantime, let me get back on this and let me launch, and I will do it for this episode of Astroneers, or Astroneer I should say. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and as we come back out here, I will see... Oh, our planet is nice in range now. Yeah, you see all the labels are off, but they should be over here. And I will see you next time.